If you love training with sandbag gear, save this video where we're going over a workout that you can utilize in the comfort of your own home or gym if you have access to one. All right, so we're gonna be going over sandbag gear. This specifically workout is gonna be with jerry cans. These are from GoRuck. They are in a sandbag that's designed to be carried, which obviously a lot of sandbags are designed to be carried. That sounds ridiculous, but it's specifically for farmer carries, or you think of traditional jerry cans that are maybe more sturdy versus the soft material. This is a great tool to implement in your home gym. I incorporate it into my routine very much so. So let's get started. We're gonna be doing 2 different exercises today. I'm gonna talk about the functionality of the sandbag, some exercises you can do with them, and then we'll actually do the workout, so stay tuned for that. If you guys wanna check out these sandbags, the link is below. You can also use my code MARGO10 and they'll give you 10% off. All right, so these are jerry cans. If you look at a pair of dumbbells that are typically on the floor, you'll have to go a little bit further down to the ground to grab the dumbbells. So I do like that these are a little bit higher up, so I have to have a minimal bend to do it in terms of grabbing them. So in terms of movements, you can do traditional farmer carries, which essentially you have one load in each hand, right? Essentially, I'm gonna go walking, Personally, when I do farmer carries, I actually like to have a slight little hinge in my hips, let the load be in front of me versus being directly overhead. That also takes a little bit of pressure off my back and spine by having a slight hinge. Yes, my muscles and core will have to work a little bit more because I'm hinged slightly, but that allows me to move a little bit faster. Also great implement is just use one sandbag. So if I have just one of the sandbag carries, you can do a suitcase carry. This is great for your core and your obliques. So if you notice, I'm trying to avoid being pulled down by the sandbag. So I'm really having to fight and use my core muscles to stay in a stacked position. So if you only have one jerry can, the workout that I'm sharing, you actually can utilize just one jerry can versus the 2 for today. Some other exercises you can use jerry cans are kettlebell swings. Now I know I talked about in a previous video, there are sand kettlebells that GoRuck has. You can utilize those as well, but if you only have a jerry can that looks like this, you also have the option. These are tiger stripe. There is also just a black option as well in terms of the color. So for the kettlebell swing with the jerry can, similar to any other additional exercise movement with the kettlebell swing technique, I'll like to have the bag in front of me. I'm gonna hike it like a football, and then I might have to open up my stance just slightly because it's a little wider, but this is pretty traditional stance for me, feet under my shoulders. I'm going to squeeze my butt, transfer momentum from my hips into the bell. Well, can actually. So those are some kettlebell swings you can utilize as well. It is a little heavier of an object, but you also could do sandbag over the shoulder or sandbag to the shoulder, or put the sandbag on your shoulder and do lunges and squats, etc. The only thing that's gonna be hard to do with this movement, because it's so high up in terms of the handle, is deadlifts, right? So if I get into a deadlift position or maybe a sumo deadlift position, I can still perform the movement, but the range of motion is relatively low because the object hits the floor right there. I could also just throw it on its side, get a little bit lower, and perform the deadlift with that. So again, that's an option as well. So for today's workout, we will be using both jerry cans. So if you have both jerry cans option, that's great. If you don't have the jerry cans, you could do dumbbells, you could do kettlebells. Again, it doesn't have to be these. I'm just utilizing this for today's workout. So for the jerry can farmer carry, I'll have both hands, or each hand in one of the bags. I'm gonna carry it out. We're gonna do 50 feet. If you have the space, 50 feet, you can go all the way 50 feet, or you could do 25 back, 25 back, or 25 out, 25 back in terms of the distance, right? If you don't necessarily have that, maybe you have a track that's set up, you could do 100 meters or 50 meters. Find whatever works best for you and implement it. I'm just giving you guys some tools that you can incorporate into your routine. That's the first exercise. Second exercise is gonna be that swing with the jerry can. I'm gonna squeeze the butt, transfer momentum from my hips into the bell. I have a little bit of a rock here in my knee. I'm working through some sciatic issues, so I'm bending my knees slightly. You really want to focus on hinging from the hips with the kettlebell swing. You will have a bend in the knee, right? You're not going to do like a squat, but you want to have more of a hip hinge more so than a knee hinge or knee bend. So you are going to perform that 50 feet of the carry, then you'll perform 20 sandbag swings, and you're gonna perform 3 rounds. So relatively short and quick workouts. If at any point you need to modify, you could do 15 swings. You could always decrease the distance. If you want a little more, you could add an additional round or 2. Instead of the 3 rounds, you could do the 5 rounds if you want, right? Also, in terms of other movements that you can do, the sandbags, like I said, you can pull it up into the shoulder. I'm just being a little cautious here, but I could too pull that sandbag up into the shoulder like so, and I can perform lunges. right? Forward or reverse lunges. I could even do squats with that sandbag on my shoulder. I do recommend if you put your sandbag on one shoulder and you do, say you do 10 squats, do 5 and then switch, put the sandbag on the other shoulder. So you get a little bit of change and stimulus with your body. So that is today's workout for you guys. If you guys are interested in doing it, feel free to comment below of what time you get for that workout and how many rounds you do. Again, the guide is 3, but more than welcome to do 5 or 4 if you want. You can even do 2 if you're relatively new. If you need other modifications, leave a comment below. If you find this helpful and beneficial, please share with others. I'm trying to grow, obviously, my channel and reach new people, but also hopefully help other people in terms of giving them education, giving them educational tutorials, but as well as information in terms of what workouts they can do with sandbags or other equipment. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.